Good morning, Taste Buds. Join me today for a Snacker's Dream Show. This may not be the best way to live up to your New Year's resolutions, but they're better than anything that comes in a bag from the snack style at the market. So join me today for some snack hacks here on SoFlo Taste.
How fun is that?
Good morning, all. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein in the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida in Coconut Creek. Are you a snacker? Do you need something to snack on in the middle of your day or when watching television? In fact, are you snacking on something right now? Well, if you're a snacker, you're in the right place. I thought it would be fun to give you some of my favorite snacks. So let's get cooking. I love lobster rolls and I love mini lobster rolls. Now, the only lobster roll I've ever had was the New England style. You know, you make the lobster salad, you put it into the warm, soft rolls. But today we're gonna go with a different style. I didn't know what it was called when I tried it. It seems to be called Connecticut Lobster Rolls. It's a little bit different. Let's just jump right in. I got this gorgeous live, well, it was a live lobster at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. If you want a lobster from them, you have to call ahead because they don't normally have them, but they do have tanks. They have the most glorious seafood, the best stone crabs you've ever had, including today's lobster. Call them at 954-983-6831. Go ahead online if you want to see DelawareChicken.com. Place an order with them. Go see them at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood and tell them I sent you. So you could ask them to put the lobster down, if I may say that delicately, or kill the lobster for you before you cook it. So we're going to go ahead. We have salty, salty, salty boiling water here. We're going to go ahead and put them in. And then we're going to go ahead and cover. So this will steam for only approximately 4 to 5 minutes, because what we're going to do is after it steams, we're going to put it in ice water and then you break it open and you get all the meat. Now the meat should be a little bit undercooked for this process. These are some tails, and as you can see, they are still really soft. Yes, they turn orange and they're beautiful, but they're still a little bit undercooked so that you can go ahead and saute them. For the Connecticut style, it basically just means to warm it in some butter. We're gonna add a little bit of sliced chives to the warm lobster. We've got a little bit of paprika. If you like smoky, you can add smoked paprika instead. And we've got some cayenne. I've got a little bit of parsley to finish. And then I just got some potato rolls, toasted them in a little bit of butter. We're gonna cut those open when it's time. Let's go ahead and warm some butter in the pan. Cut up our lobster. Now these rolls are really small, so you definitely want to cut up your lobster pretty small and start warming it in the butter. Now I've got claws here too, knuckles, the whole thing. If you'd rather do this with lobster tails only, I'm sure you could do that as well. So this is the claw meat. That gets cooked a little bit faster than the tail, obviously because it's smaller. So I add this in a little bit later in the process. All right, let's go ahead and add our claw meat. So the lobster is pretty warm here. Let's go ahead and add our spices. We've got the paprika, which gives it even more of a beautiful red hue. A tiny bit of cayenne, a little bit of salt. Remember, I cooked it in very salty water, so it's gonna be a little bit salty. Some pepper. Let's go ahead and add the chives. It's cooked, by the way. This is fully done. And this lobster has been cooking about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and shut the water off. And always have ice water next door to go ahead and put your lobster in after you cook it. All right, so let's go ahead and make our little snacky sandwiches. Let's take a little bit of parsley just to finish. And cut this up a little bit. I don't like to chop up my parsley too fine for this. I just like nice big slices of parsley. And to go ahead and fold it into my lobster. So that's basically what you want your lobster to look like. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's just sitting in a beautiful butter. It's turned a gorgeous orange color because of our spices. So we're gonna go ahead and take each roll and just cut down a little bit, right down the center. Now, if you hit bottom, you've gone too far. So make sure, I mean, these are inexpensive. If you make mistakes, it's okay. But you wanna go about 3/4 of the way down, giving yourself some room. Another way to do it is by just cutting in the middle so that you can just kind of stab it in the center, but keep all the four sides of the top together so that you can stuff your lobster in that way. Now this is prettier, but you get more lobster this way. So it's up to you. Let's just go ahead and cut it down the center. And let's start filling it up. Obviously you'll want a pretty plate afterwards, which we'll get in a minute. Using a spoon with holes, this is called a perforated spoon, by the way. You're gonna go ahead and grab some lobster. And you're not gonna wanna work on your pretty plate. You're gonna wanna work on some paper because you're gonna make mistakes and there's gonna be a little bit of a mess. Actually, no mess. And there you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish filling all of these, put it on a beautiful platter. Come right back because I got more snacking after the break.
Come back to SoFlo Taste from the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida. Chef Michelle is just getting started here on Local 10.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. Our home is here in Coconut Creek at Junior Achievement of South Florida. For information about this wonderful educational destination for our kids and the programs they have, go to jasouthflorida.org or call them at 954-979-7100. Now back to the snacks for all you snackers. Here we are. This is our beautiful plate of mini lobster rolls, Connecticut style, not New England style, even though I love y'all from New England and your lobster rolls. All right, who doesn't love a nacho? And these are gonna be sheet pan nachos, so they're a little bit simpler than your typical nachos. I'm kind of known for my nachos that I make at my husband's bar, Sweet Liberty. They are delicious, but man, they're complicated. So now we're gonna make something a little simpler, and we're gonna make a refried bean to go on it. So let's jump into the refried bean first, because we're gonna top the tortillas with those beans. Basically, you take your favorite bean. I love pink beans. I cook a lot of pink beans. I didn't want you to have to deal with cooking a fresh bean for this. Now, I cook fresh beans actually once a week in my home, and I'm always cooking different kinds of beans. I love trying different kinds of beans. I wanted to teach you all how to make a refried bean. We're gonna take some oil, heat it up, add a little bit of flavoring with garlic and onion. Not too much, don't go too crazy. So while that heats up and gets soft, let me tell you a little about tortillas. So obviously you can buy a bag of tortilla chips and you can make nachos with those tortilla chips. However, if you've ever fried a tortilla, you know the difference between good nachos and great nachos. We bought good tortillas and we turned them into nachos, and you see we only cut them in half. So basically it's a half of a tortilla per chip. And we did this because Amanda, my right hand, makes a lot of sheet pan nachos, and she wants to pick up the whole darn half tortilla chip and eat it like that. And I get it. I think it's kind of great. It's a great vehicle because it holds a lot on it. I personally like the smaller cut, but I like Amanda more, so I went with her style. So let's put those down. So we fried those in just plain old, oil. I love sunflower oil, grapeseed oil, whatever it is you have at home. Fry some tortillas. Notice what a difference it makes when you do. All right, these onions are getting soft. I'm gonna go ahead and add some beans into it with their liquor as well, which is their cooking liquid. So what you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna want to let them fry a little before you start mashing them. Now, I think if I had like a potato masher, That would be the trick. Right now, I don't have one today, so I'm just going to use the back of a spoon. But I'm going to let these fry a little bit before I start mashing. The other thing I love to do, I love a little cilantro in my beans, so I'm just going to chop some to add to it right when we're done. So for cheese on my nachos, that's the other thing, by the way. We grate our own cheese. We don't buy grated. It's just so much better. If you have the time to do it, go get your Boxhole grater. I know you've got one, and grate some fresh cheese. This is Jack, Colby, and cheddar right here. It's my favorite blend for nachos. We also have some fresh jalapenos. We pickle a lot of jalapenos at the restaurants, so we can use those, or you can use fresh like these. And I love these naughty canned black beans that don't taste much like anything but salt. I love them. I grew up on them. I have to have them on my nachos. All right, these are frying nicely. Let's season it and start mashing them. So just start pressing into the pan. As you see, I've used a cast iron pan. That would be my favorite choice for making refried beans. All right, so I'm going to bring the tortillas close. This is, by the way, the pot that I cooked the tortillas in. Not a lot of oil in it, by the way. It's only about a quarter filled with oil. Is all the oil you really need to make a lot of tortillas. So you don't think that you need a huge pot filled with tons of oil. You really don't. All right, so these are starting to smash up nicely. So you can use any kind of bean you like. A lot of people love, frijoles negros, the black beans, but I personally love the pink bean for refried bean. All right, once you smash them to your liking, let's go ahead and start topping the nachos with, well, not yet nachos, right? These are still tortillas. And don't go too heavy, because you want the nacho to lift as you're pulling it up out of the cheesy goodness. All right. Next, let's go ahead and add the cilantro for the bean. Let's add the mixture of cheeses over the top. Again, don't go too crazy. You don't want it so heavy that you're going to bury them. Some fresh jalapenos scattered around. Black olives. And let's go into a really nice hot oven. I would say at home, I would do about 4 to 425. The only thing I'm going to do when it comes out of the oven, I have a little bit of Mexican crema here. Add a little bit of lime zest, making it a lime crema. Like so. If you want, you can season it with a little bit of salt, just a touch. Mix it up. And this will be waiting for our nachos when it comes out of the oven. Now, all of my recipes are always available for you on the SoFlo Shows webpage. Just scan this quick response code. You'll be deposited onto the fabulous SoFlo Shows page. You'll also see this QRC on the ingredient list throughout the show. Now back in a moment with more SoFlo Taste, so come right back.
I'm design expert Elena Capra, and after Michelle, join me for SoFlo Home Project here on Local 10.
We'll see what's cooking on SoFlo Taste right after this.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. This is all about snacks, and this is all about my kind of food, because I love snacks. Nachos just came out of the oven. They are gorgeous. Everything is melted. Even the jalapenos somehow look more delicious. I'm just going to top them with some lime crema. Just a little bit. And I don't see why you couldn't just serve them on the sheet pan just like so. I'm going to put these over here because we have some work to do. I wanted to teach you all how to make delicious spring rolls. One of my favorite spring rolls is called cha dio. It is a Vietnamese spring roll. What I love about it is that it uses rice paper rather than wonton or spring roll sheets, or egg roll sheets, I should say. So this is a surf and turf kind of a spring roll. It uses ground pork and ground shrimp. I'm going to put both of those in our bowl. Some minced onions, minced shallots. By the way, if there's somebody in your family that doesn't eat shellfish, like in my family, you can just make this in pork. If you don't like pork, you can make them with ground chicken. It would be delicious. I recommend ground chicken rather than ground beef, an FYI. We have jicama. Jicama is so crunchy and delicious, and we don't use it enough. So this is peeled and very minced up jicama. Just a little bit of minced garlic, mushrooms. So we took shiitake mushroom caps, and we took some dried, rehydrated tree ear mushrooms, which are the ones you find in bags in Asian markets, and we put them both together in a food processor until they're very finely minced. Now, if you'd rather just throw some fresh mushrooms in your food processor, go for it. I don't mind. The tree ear is pretty cool though, because without adding a lot of flavor, it does add a huge amount of great texture. A little bit of white pepper rather than black pepper. You'd find that the Vietnamese use a lot more white pepper. Some eggs to bind it all together. And finally, nuc nam, which is basically fermented fish sauce. Let's bring all of this together. And this is where you don't waste any muscle strength. You really have to bring this together well. If this isn't mixed well together, the spring rolls just don't turn out to be as perfect as they will. All right, that's it. We've got a gorgeous mix right here. So this is the part that's fun, and this is when you bring in the kids and the family to help you make your spring rolls. The rice paper comes in smaller size and bigger size. I highly recommend the little ones because it's more fun that way. Also, if you want something a little simpler, you can go ahead and buy egg roll wrappers, also wonton wrappers. They're really simple. You defrost them and you can make a really simple roll out of it. This is a little more work, but to me it's really satisfying. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna take some water, and this is the rice paper. We're gonna take 2 at a time. We're gonna soak them, just like so, in some not hot, but room temperature water, and we'll soak them just until we feel that they just start getting soft, but not crazy soft. And you see how pliable they are? They're really nice and soft. Don't walk away from it, but you want it to be see-through. Okay, so let's go ahead and plate these down on a board. So I have 2 together, okay? There's 2 sheets here. So we're gonna start out with just a spoonful of the mix. Not too much. It's when you add too much is when you start having problems. Then we're gonna start rolling it up. So only about 1/3 of the way. Fold over each side. Make sure it's nice and flat. And roll up. And as I do that, I'm just gonna add 2 more to the water. And there you have it. A beautiful, perfect little spring roll. So what you do is you're gonna put these on a little napkin or paper, like so, and throw these in your fridge, okay? After it's been in your fridge for just like an hour or even overnight, then it's time to fry. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. While I do this, you take a little break, get a snack of your own, and come back and we'll try this snack together. See you in a minute.
SoFlo Taste will return right after this.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. I mean, look how beautiful. And do you hear how crunchy? So we made a little nuc nam to dip in. So good. So hot. We've done a little Oh, it's delicious. Spiralized, I love this stuff. Carrot, cucumber, and noodle. I'm gonna put mine down here so nobody eats it. Thank you so much for watching SoFlo Taste today. Try these recipes for snacking because they can really enhance anything you're doing. Just keep the smacking down when you're snacking.
Come on back next week as I keep the snack thing going with big food for the big game. I'll be giving you super recipes for everything from sliders to tots. Perfect for watching the last game of the year. That's next time here on SoFlo Taste.
Time to check in with Elena Capra to see what she has for us next. Hey Elena, what's going on?
Hi, Michelle. Good morning. So today we are cooking up some design inspiration from the Red Rooster restaurant here in Overtown. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, we tour this iconic restaurant in search of home decor ideas.
Well, thank you, man. We'll be watching. And I'm always interested in restaurant design. Wish I could send you one of these, Chagio, right now. So, Taste Buds, I wish you a good week. Goodbye, mwah, and good taste. It was no snackcident.